Okay, so in this video, we're gonna go over how to organize your photos, and how to share your photos, really. So when you first land on Picasa, it's gonna take you to your photos right here. In fact, I believe if you click home, if you click my photos, or even if you click Picasa, it's always gonna take you to the same place. So these are the albums you have already. If you haven't uploaded any photos, then you should watch the other video, and then you'll have an album. And generally, if you upload an album, by default, it's just going to name the album whatever the day that you uploaded it was. So you see here we have like 240 photos that have been uploaded to December 29th. So let's go check those out. Okay. So here are all your photos for this album. And this was just a batch upload. I uploaded everything. So what we want to do here is we want to take some of these photos and we want to put them in their own separate album, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I'm not going to do all of them. I'm just going to do a few as an example and then actually do the rest of them later. So let's just say these top 6 photos we want to put in their own album. Zoom out a little bit. So what we're going to do, before we do that, let's just look at a few of the options that you have up here, okay? So when you're looking at an album, you have some actions that you can take. You can share the album. You could delete the album. What else could you do? Let's check it out. Actions right here. You could add captions. Well, you could add the description. Okay, you could change the title. How about that? You could change the title and all those sorts of things. So the little details about the album. You could also change its visibility. Visibility is an important concept. It's down here. It says that only you can see this album. And you might want to change that because if you set the visibility to limited, which is what I recommend, then anyone with a link that you've shared with them can see the album, but otherwise no one can see it. So it's not public, but it's also not so private that it's really difficult to share your photos. So let's make a few adjustments here. If you want to, the list of possible actions you can take are right here in actions at the very top. Let's check that out. It says album properties. That's going to be the title, that's going to be the description, see here, enter description, it's going to be visibility. That's like everything, album properties, so that's a good one to use. Album cover and album map, you can really ignore. Captions, you can ignore. And then you can delete the album, of course, from here, which is helpful. Nice action right here. So let's go to album properties. You can reach album properties by clicking here, or by even clicking this right here. It's going to bring up the same window, and that's going to give you the option to change the title, the date, add a description, add some places if you want. But really, the most useful option right here is to change it to limited, right? So limited makes it easy, because I'm going to show you something right here. Show blah, blah, blah. So we're going to change that. Now notice what changes over here. All of a sudden now, we have an option to link to this album. And the reason why that's so helpful is because if you want to share your album, there's a lot of different ways. You could share with Google+. Okay, this is like the Facebook of Google that, where's my mouse? That not many people use, and it's like, it's just, if it asks you to share here, it's going to want you to share with like circles or people or whatever, and it's like, you know, let's just make it really easy on ourselves. So forget about that. And there's even another option here. So it could say share. All right, awesome, share. And then it brings up the same stupid thing. And then it's like, oh, you can share with email only. Let's see, where's that? Oh, it just disappeared. Well, screw you. You know, and if you try and share with email only, it's going to bring up this like window where it asks you to write the email. And then it'll like send it, but it's just not what, because let's say you're writing an email somewhere else and all you want to do is add the link. So that's super easy. I mean, you could send this in a text message, you could email it, you could do anything, and that's why it's really helpful. So if you just link to this album, it'll show you the album right here, and that's all you need is that link right there. and then you can like you can control C, so you could copy it. You could right click and copy it, you know, and just copy the link. That's awesome. If you're like, if by accident you give the link to someone who you don't want the link, then you can reset the link. And the resetting the link, it's just like a needle in a haystack, right? It's like basically it'll be impossible for anyone to find this album until you actually give them the link yourself. Okay, cool. So that's really all that's required to share. Remember, you don't have this option. You don't have link to album until you've set the visibility of your album to limited. So that's really important. And then you can go ahead and ignore this button and ignore this button, because they're just maybe you know how to use Google Plus and you want to do that, but it's not really the most simple way to share, and so that's why I recommend using the link, which you can share however you want. So you have some actions, cool. Prints, I leave this up to you to explore yourself. I use this service called MPix that I really like. I can make another video on that. mpix.com right there. If you want to use that, I recommend that. It's really easy. But you could also just use the service right inside. All right, but now we're gonna figure out how to organize this album, which should be really simple. So let's do that. So organize is all the way up here at the top. Let's check this out. You got all these photos, and when you organize photos, it's really simple. Just think of this as like a table. All your photos are laid out. You can hold and drag them around. You can select one at a time. If you select one and then press Shift and then select another one, it's going to select all of them in between. Okay? And then together, you can move these 15 somewhere else. Alternatively, you can select one. Now check this out. If you have them all selected and you select one, now it just selects that one. So it can get kind of annoying if you're not careful. So I selected one right here. Now I'm going to control, so not shift, but control click. And now I have these two selected. This one down here and this one down here. And that gives you a little bit more sort of fine-tune selection ability. So I'm going to shift select all these, and then I'm going to control select this guy down here. Cool. All right, so now you know how to select. Once you have them selected, you can do a lot of different things. So, you know, let's say this one is selected, I'm going to move it. So that's very helpful. Move means move to other album. So you can create a whole new album, which is what I would do. Let's say I selected like all your Puerto Rico photos, and then I just put those in like Puerto Rico trip 2012. It would just create the album for me, and then by default it sets it to limited, which is nice. I think it's going to set it to whatever the visibility of this album is. So it's nice, have it unlimited. Or you can choose an existing album, which is really helpful. And then you can just be like, oh, all these photos should be in like this album. So let's cancel. Let's go that. Okay. So you got some photos. You can reorder the photos in the album, which is kind of helpful. You could copy them, put them somewhere else. This is kind of nice. You can sort the album by oldest and newest, and also the file name, which is kind of awesome. Moving a single photo, and it even has some instructions over here, which is kind of cool if you want to check those out. And that's basically it. Like, the big thing about organizing your photos is you might want to reorder them with this single album, or you might want to move them to other albums, which you can do with this button right here, which I showed you. And yeah, so I recommend uploading all your photos at once. And I showed you how to do that in the video. Now, I didn't mention, in that other video where I showed you how to upload, sometimes you might try and upload like more than 70 images and it just won't do it. So I recommend only upload 70 at a time. Just like start at the top, make your way down. So it's kind of annoying, but Google won't let you upload more than roughly 70 images at a time. So just be aware of that. And that's how you organize your photos. Yay! And share. Cool. So now you should be able to upload photos. You should be able to put them in albums. This is a Taust album I created, and I'm just gonna go ahead and delete it. And it's gonna be like, oh my god, are you sure? Like, yes, I'm sure. Gosh. All right. And I'm gonna make another video right now, and I'm gonna show you how to upload from your iPhone. Okay, you have to upload directly from your iPhone. All right, peace.